This video is intended to help you to organize a canoe trip down the Kedgwick and Restigouche Rivers in New Brunswick, Canada. The Kedgwick and Restigouche Rivers are famous rivers if you're a fisher. They're actually known for being salmon rivers. So the Miramichi and Restigouche Rivers are sort of the top rivers in New Brunswick for salmon fishing. Which means that it's a shallow river, as you can see here. The water is clear, and it's relatively fast-moving water. I think we clocked it at 8 kilometers per hour when we weren't paddling, so that's a good flow to the river. In fact, we had one episode where some of us didn't make the campsite and had to paddle back up against the current, and it was a tricky affair. So a small, shallow, swiftly moving river. Not a lot of rapids on the river. It's clear sailing. I'll show you a map later. There are a couple of rapids that are indicated, but they're basically class 1 with a couple of borderline class 2 rapids on them. Beautiful little river. There are groomed campsites all along the river. The camping is free, and you don't have to make a reservation, but it is first come, first served. But the campsites are massive, and also, like I say, not technical whitewater, and very easy access in and out of the river. So I highly recommend it for any level of paddler. You could be a novice. Those rapids that I mentioned are easy to line around or avoid, or even if you run them and take on water or even tip, there's no hazards, there's no drops, there's no big risk to doing it. So this is about as mild of a swift moving river as you're going to find anywhere. So where is the Kedgwick and Restigouche Rivers? As I said, they're in northwestern New Brunswick. You can see here on the map, there's the Gaspé and there's New Brunswick. And basically you would be, if the Trans-Canada Highway, Highway 2 is here. There's the communities of St. Leonard and St. Andre, or Saint-Léonard and St. Andre. And you would take this highway or Country Road 17 from it up to this kind of turn, and rather than going to Kedgwick, the community, you would go on this back road and go to Kedgwick River, the community, and that's sort of where it is. So that's good. It's a good, hour or more off of the highway, and it's relatively remote. You're in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, believe it or not. It's not shield country. It's definitely kind of old mountains, but have been worn down, so they're not like Western Canadian mountains. They're it's very hilly, very steep, very rocky, and very wooded. So now coming into the community, we actually stayed at this place, Chalet Restigouche. It was excellent. A lot of the places that you can get accommodation are actually fishing lodges. They can be quite expensive. They're private, and they're quite exclusive. This Chalet Restigouche was not that expensive, had great amenities, and it was right there, actually on the river. So it worked well for us, and I would recommend it to anyone. And here's the service that we used for our shuttle, JP Aventure or Adventure. And they don't have a website necessarily, but they're a big outfit actually. They've got lots of canoe rentals and gear rentals, and they make a really good business of it. Very professional outfit. I can certainly recommend it. I know that there are others though, and so you could always Google for others, including in the province of Quebec. There are some that will service the Kedgwick and Restigouche Rivers, as well as in New Brunswick. But I can certainly vouch for this one. He treated us really well, Gilles, and he even had a little toast for us, at the beginning, and he showed up exactly at the takeout point, exactly when he said he would. So very reliable that way. In terms of the route itself, so this is a great little overview map. By the way, this outfitter here, I guess that way, Arpin Canoe Restigouche, I don't think they're still in service. So we tried to contact them and they weren't responsive. So I think this one has gone out of business. But here's a nice little map of the route. This is the Kedgwick River up here on the western side. We put in at Rapid Depot, which was an easy entry into the river. The fellow that was shuttling us did not recommend we go any higher on the river, but I can see from the map and that it certainly is possible if you want a longer trip. So we put in at Rapid Depot here. We descended the Kedgwick in about a day, and then we did another 3 days down the Restigouche, and we took out, as most people do, at this place called Rafting Ground right up here. And then on this map, you can see the indications. The red little tents are the campsites. Again, you don't need to reserve them. They're free. They're big. They're like cut grass, manicured grass with picnic tables. And one of them even has a stone fireplace, which I think is left over from an old building, but they built it up nice around there. So really nice. And, you know, you'd expect with such big campsites that it'll be full of people. The outfitter told us that it's full during fishing season. But we had gone in September after fishing season, so there was nobody at any of the campsites. We had them all to ourselves. We didn't see a single other person camping. We did see some fishers in their boats on the river. I don't know what they were catching. I don't know what the deal is there. And you do pass by, like I say, these fishing lodges. You also pass by ranger stations. So if you're not a fisher, do not bring equipment. And if you are a fisher, get a license because it is very tightly controlled there. For an actual canoe map, there is in Carte Plein Air this great map. It's in French language. It's got a lot of links and so on as well. It's got different options for outfitters and so on. And so there's the roadmap they've got in it, very helpful. And then you've got this detailed topo level map of the river. I don't know if you can tell on my screen here, but the elevations are pretty decent. It's really a great little valley that you go down. And then you can see there's some EV means Eau-vivre or swift. And then you can see there's a few R1s as you come down, and there are a couple of, these are all R1s. There's an R2 there. And there's another R2 further on down. Here we go. This says R23, not the case, certainly not at the water level that we were at. So there's a great resource there. I'll put all the links in the description. And also I wanted to show you this map. This is from one of the fishing lodges that I mentioned. And again, it might be hard to see there, but there are names for each of the salmon fishing pools. And when you're paddling down the river, you'll see what looks like old street signs on trees in eddies. And they're the names of the pools where people go and fish. So I think they reserve them, you know, by pool, and there might be different regulations governing the fishing there. We don't fish, so but it was just kind of interesting. You could actually measure your your progress down the river based on the name of the pool, which was essentially a road map for the Kedgwick River, and less so I think on the Restigouche is my recollection. There's also a water level gauge just above rafting grounds on the Restigouche River. So if you're interested in the water levels, you can check that out. This is the last 2 years of data. We went in September, as I mentioned, so water levels were kind of, look kind of in the, past the freshet, kind of in the medium level. At that level, no problems going over, and my suspicion is that at the higher water levels, actually, they'll just wash out the rapids that are there. There aren't any canyons or other big features. It really is mild white water. So I hope that helps you and inspires you maybe to try out the Kedgwick and Restigouche Rivers. Great little canoe trip. We did a 4-day trip, leisurely pace. Could have easily done it in less. Could have drawn it out to more. It was raining. We pulled out after 4 days. But have a look, and I hope you get out there. And if you do, maybe we'll see you. Take care.